right, so I will be just as brief as I know how to be. And the purpose of this talk is to give you an update on where we are with the parish vision process. On page 2, it says, page numbers are on the lower right-hand corner. It says, how did we get here? And this is a continuation of work that we began in the summer of 2015, when all of you who were here then participated in the discernment dialogues, which were designed to help the discernment committee understand from your prayerful discernment what kind of priest was God calling for us. We also learned some things about us as a parish, that we perceived ourselves to be loving, family, kind, and elevating, and so forth. But look at this last point. We learned we wanted to be more spiritual, biblical, led by an, what are these next two words? Energetic and enthusiastic priest to take us further. How did that work out? Yeah. And we also said we wanted to go, yes, absolutely. We also said then we wanted to go further outside to the community and be more connected inside. So now if we'll turn to the next page, which is page 4, I want to talk a little bit about methodology. So you participated in the vision dialogues over the last several months, and your vestry asked you a number of questions. We had a secretary that took notes and wrote down every word you said, almost. And we had our lovely Barbara Salmon. Barbara, will you Barbara typed everything up for us, got it into an Excel spreadsheet so we could analyze it. And of course, what we were doing was looking for some central tendencies. So on this page 4, it says this: answers to questions come like grains of sand from heaven. Some fall around the core, inside the lines of that sand pile you see in the middle of the page. And some fall further from the center. To move forward as a parish, we need central themes, core themes, and that's what this presentation is about. Answers that are outside the core, that are beyond those two vertical lines, are simply answers that aren't ready yet. We still have them, they're on file, but we don't have a critical mass at this time to move forward with those. So we see them as just not ready yet. Now, essentially in these discernment dialogues, there were 3 big questions we were asking. The first one was, what one word best describes Holy Cross today? And you see the words there. Now, as you look at the answers to these 3 questions, they follow the same order as this first one. Statistically, the most common words that were said by folks were joyful, happy, and upbeat. The second, which were pretty typical, where it's Holy Cross is family and it's home. And on the last line were the words that were said somewhat often: fellowship, friendly, loving, caring, and sweet. That's us, right? This is wonderful. Okay, our second question. What would you like the church to be? The most common answer we heard was, go outside of the church. Take Jesus beyond the walls. Fairly typical were answers that said we want more diversity, more openness, and more inclusiveness. And third, we heard clearly more nurturing, more renewing, and healing. So those are big focus items. Third big question we asked was, what does welcome, serve, and love look like in the future at Holy Cross? Most common answer was, serve the community. Outreach, including Bible classes, reconciliation and fellowship. Fairly typical were answers saying greeting and welcoming, and said often, loving each person like family, across generations, across differences, that we all continue to learn to come together as a family to nurture and support one another. More youth, more middle, and more seniors. I'm not sure what seniors are, but we're, you know, we're looking for them. So those were the three big things that came out of listening to the discernment that we did this summer. So what do we do with that? What happens? Turn to the last page, if you will. The truth of the matter is, this discernment process around how we're going to do these two big things is something that's still working within you. It's something that you, through your prayerful attention to God, you're going to know the answers to. And we're going to learn about this because beginning in October, we're going to begin to hold working conversations which have as a purpose to focus and prepare, to learn more, develop plans, and figure out how we're going to take the first steps to do these two things. Go beyond our walls, to serve, fellowship, and work out in the community. Now, we were hearing this morning about the Israelites being out in the desert for 40 years. I don't think it's going to take us 40 years to figure out how to do this. But on the other hand, we want to take some time to do this, because we want this to be framed within what you said, which is that this activity out in the community not just be a bunch of task doers. But what we do out in the community is spiritually grounded, biblically grounded, and that we do it in a way that we learn. We draw closer to Christ in the work that we're doing, that we grow. And the same thing's true in terms of how we'll approach building greater community within. So we want to be successful at this. We want to do it well. We don't want to just rush out and do what one of us wants us to do. We want to figure out, what does it mean to go beyond the walls? These conversations starting in October will have some structure, some facilitation to keep us grounded spiritually and biblically. And you, attending these conversations, will begin to inform the plans. We'll hold these conversations at various different times during the week. They'll be publicized. Many of them will be during the day, because we've gotten a lot of input that doing some things during the day is good. And some will be in the evening as well. But we'll start slow. But we need your intensity. We need your participation. So, last point on this. Is your vestry going to do all this work?
No.
No. No, vestry's not going to do all this work. Is your rector going to do all this work?
Definitely not.
Is our rector going to tell us exactly what to do and how to do it? No. No, he's not. But our rector is going to lead us in this process so that we're focused and we get across the desert, we're successful, and we do what it is that God is calling us to do. From this process, we've learned these two big areas are what you're saying. And there's no doubt in my mind, Holy Cross can absolutely do this. But it's your work. It's our work together. So please, look for the advertisements that will come out, the communications that will come out to announce these meetings. Please come and attend, because nothing's going to happen if you're not there. Nothing's going to happen if you're not there. So we look forward to it. Let me pause for a moment. Any questions? Well, thank you. The vestry is all up on this stuff too. You could ask any of us on the vestry questions about this. We're very excited about it. This is a great turning time for us. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Larry.